Welcome back to another episode, building up my brother-in-law's 1997 TJ Jeep Wrangler. In the previous episode, we did a huge suspension upgrade on the Jeep. Triangulated 4-link in the rear and a long arm 5-link front. This time we are back for a bunch more modifications and maintenance to get it ready for the upcoming Christmas holiday adventures. There's lots to do, so let's hook in.
This would have to be one of the most hated jobs from all mechanics.
Drum brakes.
It's dirty and it's just shit. If you like this sort of job, something wrong with your head.
Proudly supported by Opus Campers, Ultimate 9, Tread, Superior Engineering, GME, and in part by. It's after lunch, mate. We just finished up the suspension in the Jeep and we're straight into more action here. This episode is going to be a lot of repairs and finding things going on with a 30-year-old Jeep.
Okay, love Jeeps.
So we've got 2 front wheel bearings.
RDA shoes, we got new wheel cylinders and we got rear drum. So we don't have anything for the front. You may ask why, since the front does most of your braking. But the rear in this is a Dana 44. And the front is a Dana 30, and they're pretty weak. So we're planning on, in the future when it breaks, to upgrade it. So we figured, why were we going to spend so much money on the front when it's just all going to change anyway? So we're trying to get him to get out there and just figure out what he likes. He might not even like this car. He's wasting all his money.
Mate, what's the plan? Where are we kicking off this
Plan
job?
is I'm going to start on the front wheel bearings. I've already got the caliper undone, the disc out of the way, split pin out of the end of this. I sort of jumped the gun a little bit. So I wasn't sure if we were going to have a socket. Boom, 36. So I'm going to undo the CV nut, 3 bolts on the back, and then that CV should pop off. It's a whole hub assembly that bolts on. You watch them nice little ears of yours, bud. You ready for it?
Yeah. Look at the torque on that gun.
That thing is not even struggling, mate.
Have you ever done a wheel bearing on a Jeep before, or is this a world first?
This is a world first because I don't work on shit.
So on a Jeep, you just replace that whole thing, do you? The whole assembly?
Yeah. Some cars are like this. It's not like a Patrol where it's like a bearing and that, and you just change it. We have a whole brand new hub, so you get new wheel studs, you get the whole assembly.
I just thought too, we were saying how we're only doing the brakes on the rear because we're keeping the rear diff. We're not doing the brakes on the front diff. Then they're probably, well, hey, why are you wasting money on your wheel bearings?
Because the other side's like fully collapsed.
It's like to the point where your wheel's about to fall off there.
Yeah, like it's like...
You can't just go do a couple of test trips in it.
Yeah, it's...
Not happening.
Like your wheel will fall off.
Yeah.
So to change these up, mate, you're already clean in there. Look at that, pretty much done, mate.
This is an easy wheel bearing swap.
Well, you know what happens? Goes to spec. You know how tight spec is? That tight. You know what spec that is?
What?
FT, mate. That's f***ing tight. Wheel bearing's done. All this is back together. The only thing left to upgrade, change, is this brake line. So we've got nice new ones. They're longer. Other side's done. I've just got the same thing to do on this side, and then that's the front wheel bearing done. So this one, as you can see, it's got all this movement, even the CV is moving. That shouldn't have any of that. With the wheel on, you gotta think that much movement there, it's like a lot out there.
Hope you guys are enjoying the episode. Just a quick reminder, we do have plenty of merch available on our website. Coming up to Christmas, great gift idea. We got shirts, hoodies, hats, stickers, stubbies. Got some of our popular shirt range on display here. I'm wearing one of the hats. Look, we got the Toyota Recovery Crew shirts. You name it, we bloody got it. I'll put a discount code up on the screen as well. If you want to grab yourself something, make sure to check it out.
Front's done. What's coming up next is the rear drums, shoes and cylinders. So it sounds like there's a lot of stuff, but the cylinder is what the brake fluid pushes out and pushes the shoes out onto the drum. So it's all just the one setup for each side.
So this should get the back stopping super nice.
Yeah.
And then, as we said earlier, the front's still okay brakes-wise at the moment, but when he upgrades to his Dana 44 front diff, we'll put a big badass brake setup on then too. So what's the plan? Rip all the old stuff off and put all the new stuff in?
Yeah, exactly that. So maybe they're not loose. Maybe this gun's just that powerful, mate. Rip my arm off. That's the recoil, mate.
Bush.
Scar.
So drum brakes are widely hated for four-wheel driving because they fill up with mud.
Yeah, they actually work very good when they are working correctly. Normally, as soon as you go through a water butt, they don't work that good. So the way I do these, since there's so many springs and clips and whatever else in there, I pull them off, and as I pull them off, I lay them on the floor, so like in the same order they came off. But then if you mix that up, I only ever do one side at a time, so I can then pull the other side off and have a look at what, because they're identical. But if you pull it all apart, both sides, and then you go, oh, I don't know what's going on, you're in a pickle, bud.
Back in the day, Berto here used to work in a brake shop, so that's where he gets all his brake knowledge from.
Mate, I'm just a mechanic. Every mechanic should know how to do brakes. Let me tell you. It's part of it. These springs are all like strong.
So you give it a nice clean up in there with some brake cleaner?
Yeah. I won't get it as clean as what I want, but because I don't have enough brake cleaner. You want to know how these work? There's no caliper on this, right? It's drums. So the fluid comes in through this hole, through the back, and then it pushes there's two pistons in there, and it pushes them out, and they push the shoes out. So it's pretty much the piston for the back, but it's a wheel cylinder.
Beautiful brake facts with Berto.
It's been a while since I've done some of these, let me tell you.
You still got it, bud.
Mate, you don't ever not get it once you've got it, mate.
It's just muscle memory kicks in once there's a drum brake in your hand. You don't even know what's going on, but next minute it's done.
Mate, I tell you, the boys ever got stuck with the drum brake, who they come see, mate?
Berto.
That's right, mate. This is what they look like new, mate. Normally clean everything spotless. I don't think we're gonna have enough cleaner for that, mate.
Get what you get, don't get upset.
I'm gonna put the handbrake cable back on. Yeah, coming apart the easy bit too if you wonder. There's a spring on this cable. You need to put it back far enough to put it in this. A little metal prong in here that goes through the back of this backing plate. That's what I've got my finger on. And it goes through this spring. And then once it goes through the spring, you've got to get the little tab, the flat, to go through that. So you've got to try and push this spring in, hold this clip, and twist it all at once. This would have to be one of the most hated jobs from all mechanics.
Drum brakes.
It's dirty and it's just shit. Like if you like this sort of job, something wrong with your head. Look at that thing, eh? Yeah, get rid of that rusty one. Look at that. You painted that, eh? Not my car. You painted that yourself, Lakin.
So that's one side fully done. All new brakes in there.
Yeah.
Off to do the other side now.
Correct.
Same process.
Same process, same mess.
With the other side done, it was time to bleed the brakes. Do a check over of all the work, tyres back on, and then lower the Jeep to the ground. This was the first time it had been sitting on all four wheels since the suspension was completed.
You ready?
Yeah, tyres are on. Let's put this thing on the ground and see how she looks with Lakin's 19-inch lift that he wanted.
Yeah. Let's see how it's hit.
It's definitely nosed down a fair bit. He's going to need new springs for the rear, or it just needs weight. Like I know he's going to get a rear tyre carrier and tyre and that. So yeah, so probably once we get all the stuff on the rear, we can suss it, but it's definitely nose diving at the moment. Which is a bit loud with no exhaust. Onto the trailer the Jeep goes, then off to the exhaust shop to get a fresh one made, as the current exhaust no longer fitted with the suspension upgrades, and we will catch up again in a few days. All right, it's been a couple of weeks since we got the Jeep back here to this shed. A few things have gone on. First thing is we did take it down to the exhaust shop, so all the exhaust is done and on there now, so I'll put up some B-roll of that. And then Berto here, you've been spending what, about 4 days on this thing now, 5?
Yeah.
Didn't film any of it because a lot of it was just wiring stuff, which we figured wasn't that interesting anyway.
But we'll give you a rundown of it.
Yeah, mate, but I'll grab this camera. We'll come to you.
Sure.
You can show what's been going on. This is like all the behind-the-scenes stuff of builds, which
You don't see.
Which you don't see, but just takes a long time.
So this car got dropped off. Headlights, only the low beams worked. All the fancy stuff didn't work. The indicators didn't work. This wasn't hooked up. Winch wasn't hooked up. Light bar wasn't hooked up, rock lights weren't hooked up. So what we've done is we've installed it all, ran all the cable real nice, did a bit of cable management. There's all your bush stuff in one go. Nice little fuse box, so everything is fused. We have a little switch panel.
So the idea behind that switch panel is you still got to find a spot to mount it up on the dash.
Yeah, I'm not done yet, but it's all, like everything that I've wired is wired into it.
Yeah, so you can turn on your light bar, your air compressor, your lockers,
Yeah.
everything from that switch there, which is cool. Saves ending up with like 10 different buttons.
Yeah, and then if you have a look in through the back here, you come around the back, we have a twin air compressor with a manifold mounted remotely with your pump up kit installed. But I've also done raise the intake. So I've pretty much mounted this to the floor, fully wired it in.
Mate, why don't you get the app out? Let's turn all the party lights on he's got going on this thing.
You want the party lights going, bigger?
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome.
Nah, walk into the club like, what up? I got a big cock. I'm just pumped. I bought some shit from a thrift shop. Ice on the fringe is so damn frosty. The people like,
Damn, that's a cold ass honky.
Look at that, mate. This bloke, we said, how many party lights do you want? And he just said yes.
Literally.
I want all the party lights. So he's got the world's biggest LED whip, Bush Doof party headlights, Bush Doof party light bar, and then
Rock lights
underneath it as well. So this is what he spent a couple of days doing, just wiring up all his
Mostly
lights.
just running everything, wiring it all. That switch panel has its own little board in it that you have to run power to, and then all your inputs.
Now, mate, I'm going to give you this camera, and I'm going to show everyone what the plan is from here now. We've got a list now. He wants this car not this weekend coming, but next. We said probably not going to happen, but we'll see what we can do.
He's dreaming.
This is everything he wants on it. So we're going to give it a full service, which is what we're going to jump into this morning. There's a few small things that need to get put back together on it, like seatbelt plugs, refit dash, adjust handbrake, all the small fiddly things. He's got another light bar he wants to go on. More light bars, more better. We're going to try and PPF wrap it. We've got wheels and tyres coming. We've got to suss the suspension a bit because obviously we've put it all in, but we've got to sort out bump stops and all that. We've got a new panhard coming. He's got a new steering wheel. So there's still a fair bit going on this car. But, mate, let's jump into this full service. I'll get the camera back.
Why don't you do the service? I'll hold the camera.
Yeah, get me on the work.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what's going on.
30-year-old Jeep. These have got a 4-litre petrol engine in them. We're going to give it a bit of a check over, spruce up, freshen up. What's the plan?
I've got plugs, leads. It runs fine, but it's 30-year-old, so we're just going to give that a freshen up. Fuel filter, oil filter, and oil. And obviously, I'm going to check all your diff oils and all that sort of situation. I've already checked all the hoses, belts, made sure they didn't need replacing before we ordered this stuff. First up, we're going to start with the oil. So I'm just going to undo and let it sit there so that when the oil comes out, it comes out faster than just slow. See that, mate? Don't air creeper. Got the Ultimate 9 shirt, mate. It's got one built in.
How tight do you do that bad boy up?
Just a nip. Once it's seated, it's a quarter of a turn. They don't need to go tighter than that. If you go tighter than that, man, they don't come off. They get tighter when they get hot. That's why they're always so hard to get off. Because people do them up real tight, and then they get even tighter. Time to get some new oil in it. This thing comes with a funnel, but why would I use that when I've got this bag deal? Makes it heaps easier to pour.
Mate, they just put it right out there in the middle.
Yeah, I'm a short bloke.
Far away spot.
See that little secret, mate? Put your finger on it. I have to start it so we can prime the oil filter and make sure it gets oil pressure. And then once it's been off for like, a minute, I've got to recheck the oil. Because it's currently over full, but the oil filter's going to take up some of that. So we have 6 spark plugs. This is 6-cylinder. This is an older motor, so we had a distributor with leads instead of, like, you know, your coil pack, same as what the battery is. So I'm going to mark from front to back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on these leads and on the cap, so I know what order to put them back on. And then I'm going to change the spark plugs, because if you mix up where the leads go, it'll run funny, it'll backfire, it won't be good. So typical Jeep fashion, nothing as easy as you think. You can get 2 to 6 plugs, no dramas. Number 1 is behind this air compressor. So I'm going to have to just pull the belt off, undo these 4 mounting bolts. I'll leave all the lines hooked up, just move it to the side, change the plug, put it back. Tidy. So that's the first lead out. I have marked them, taken a picture. It's sort of hard to mark them all on the distributor, so I'm thinking I might just change one at a time. Like this is number 1. I'm going to find which lead is the same length. Like these are all different lengths. Look, they're not terrible, they're not crazy old, but there's a little bit of wear on them. So I don't know if you can see, but on the left one, the new one, it's got straight, sharp, square edges. And then the old one has rounded off edges. The rounded off is just the wear. They're not actually terrible, but we're gonna put a new set in them anyway. And the other thing you can see is, this crust washer, how it's flat, the new one's not flat. So you pretty much put these in and then they just get a little nip as well. They don't go too crazy tight or anything. So see that, it's seated, and then I've crushed it, and then I've nipped it.
The same process with 5 more sort of thing now.
Yep, yeah, correct.
But shit, it was 99 cents. I get copping it, washing it. About to go and get some compliments. Passing up on those moccasins. Someone else has been walking in bummy and grungy fucking man. I am stunting and flossing and saving my money, and I'm hella happy.
Boom, boom. As you can see, all new leads, coil lead to the middle, all new plugs in there. So now I'm going to put all this back on there. This thing's going to run like a charm, mate.
They had a broken keyboard. I bought a broken keyboard.
All back together, mate. Give it a little start up.
Job done, mate. No misses, so she's all good.
Yeah, what do you think of that new exhaust too? Sounds not too bad.
Sounds like a 6-cylinder. They're not the best sounding motor, like any 6-cylinder unless they're turbo, like a straight 6 anyway.
With the service done, we spent the afternoon ticking off some more jobs on the Jeep. A new battery, another light bar, GME antenna and UHF setup, and got the window squirters working.
What she knowing about wearing a fur fox skin? I'm digging.
Bloody beautiful.
Both sides of the windscreen.
You can't ask for a better job than that.
Well, the only thing you'd ask for is if it didn't shoot you when you were sitting in the car.
If it had a roof on it.
Just like little sprinkle sprays. So, don't use too much water. Boom.
Shit, mate, what do you got here? Some fresh rims and tyres.
Fresh rims and tyres, mate. What are they for? That thing.
That thing right there. Well, mate, this is an exciting one. Big moment for the Jeep. We got tyres and we got rims. What did we go with? Only the best.
Goodyear Wrangler boulders, mate.
35 by 12.5 R17. He said he wanted 37s. We said, whoa, just ease up. You don't need 37s.
That little front diff ain't gonna like it either.
No, it's a bit ridiculous. So he's happily gone with 35s. And being the Jeep has smaller diffs than Patrols, which is what we're driving, he's still going to have more clearance than us anyway.
It's the equivalent of us having 37s anyway.
Yeah. Tyres are going to be wrapped in a nice rim. Now we did have a bit of trouble, like we're a bit limited on rim options for a Jeep to have a particular PCD.
And we needed a special, like a certain offset.
So we had to get blank ones. Contacted Dynamic Wheel Co. They had some Dirty Life messes in stock, like a full beadlock. Neg 38 in blank. 17 by 9s. Yeah, so we just had to get them machined out to match the Jeep size. What's the plan now, mate? We're going to mount tyres to the rims. Yeah, I'm about to mount these tyres on this without any special tyre fitting tools. So a bit of spit, a bit of polish, mate, a bit of elbow grease. It's going to be gone. Get it on, but I reckon this Jeep's going to look a whole lot better with these on. It's going to be a game changer, mate. New tyres and rims, you can't beat it. What's the best bit about these rims? What? We get to get rid of them bloody wheel spaces. Yeah, that's right. So on the last video, everyone commented, please get rid of those wheel spaces. Don't worry, that was on our list of things to do, but we couldn't do it till we got a big wide offset. We have beadlocks that we got to fit tyres to. You can do it at home. It's not as easy as, dropping it off at a tyre shop, but we figured we'd give you a bit of a step-by-step. First, you want to get your little valve coil. This is not the tool to install that either, but we don't have that. So if you're in the bush and you have to change the valve coil, this is also a demonstration. I pull the cap off so we don't squish it. I poke it through the hole.
And then you want to very carefully, without damaging these threads, squeeze this hard enough. But you want to lever it till it pulls through. So that's through, that's in. Next step, you need to figure out you want white writing, black writing. So we want black out. So we'll lube up the inside bead. We've only got WD-40, we don't have the proper stuff, but it'll work. We'll spray it onto the bead just so it's a bit slippery.
So any sort of lubricant will work, really.
Yeah, you can get soap, got car washy soap stuff. That was the first thing I grabbed and it'll be fine. Next step, you want to throw it down on a diagonal angle, and then you want to work your way around it with all your body weight, so your knee. On she goes. That's the backside on, so you wouldn't get a normal, if you didn't have a bead lock you wouldn't get it on, but bead locks you only have to get one on. Next step is to get thick bead to sit down on this lip. If you have it sitting at all up on this, it won't go on properly, it won't balance properly, and it'll wobble and carry on. So this is probably the hardest bit of fitting bead locks. I like to start it off with a nice soft hammer. You get it around until it starts going all the way around, because the other side starts coming off. I get a screwdriver. And very carefully lever it down, push it down. I have these bead ring spacers. Not every rim and tyre combination needs them. These beads are pretty thick. I've already sat that on top, which I suppose I can show you. You sit it on top, you can see there's a fairly big gap, and this has to pull right down. So we're going to use these, because if you don't and the rims it's too fat, you'll actually like snap bolts and it'll be a real pain. So I'm going to sit him on there. I'm going to get the Dirty Life logo. I'm going to line it up with the valve. So then whenever you're going to air your tyres up, you know one of these two is the valve. We've got a box of bolts, a box of washers, and we've got a tub of anti-seize. It's the most important bit. Don't skip the anti-seize. Otherwise you'll have bolts come out and snap off, and when they do they won't come out. It's just not ideal. So we're just going to get these all started by fingers. You know, another time consuming one. There's probably like 20 something bolts.
When I wake up, well, I know
The next step, we'll get the little baby bolt upper and we'll wind them in. Not super tight, we're not going to hold it there until they're bottomed out, but we're just going to send them all down so we don't have to wind it with our hands so far.
Don't use a big rattle gun for this and send them in, because that'd be real bad. You just a light little get them started with this one, small one.
Yeah. So I'm going in a bit of a crisscross pattern so it pulls it all down pretty flat. Next step, we're going to get the same socket on a torque wrench. We're going to look up what the spec is for these rims. It's like 25 to 30 newton meters, so I'm just going to set it to 29 newton meters. And then the way to do this is, you see, after we've put that gun on it, it's still a fair bit loose. Like, so you just save that. We're not actually doing it up with it. Till it clicks, then I'll go opposite. Once I've done 4 in like opposite directions, I'll just go around in a circle. So yeah, I started talking on this one here. I went opposite, 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 and then I went just around in a circle. And you'll find that you have to go all the way around probably 2.5 times. Because every time you nip one up, and this one's loose, when you do that one up, it takes tension off that one. So you sort of got to keep going around until it's down, otherwise you'll have a gap, and then it will, your bolts will come loose and they will snap. So that's the main thing you need to do with bead locks.
And then the only other thing you have to do now is pump the tyre up, and that'll pop the back bead on.
Yeah, that'll pop the back bead on, which we're going to do them all at once. So I'm just going to get them all to this stage.
Yeah.
And then we're going to pump them all up, which we'll just use a compressor for that.
So we'll hook in and get the arrest done, and then we'll get them fitted up to the Jeep.
Yeah, beautiful, mate.
well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be.
Have you ever seen that movie where the kid's in bubble, protecting from the outside world?
Is that me?
That's you right now, mate.
Mate, I need this earmuffs on for the click, you know.
Is that
too extreme?
It's too loud for the click on the talk wrench.
Yeah.
Nah, leave them on. They look real cute.
Now we get a taste for each other's life.
I'm just gonna go and edit for about 4 hours, and I'll see you later. Just going inside to watch movies or something. What do you
Call
reckon?
that done, mate.
You call that
Look at
done?
that, mate. I'm on the tools today.
Just stay still for a second. There's a bit on your forehead. Look at that. That's sweat, boys. He's f***ing working.
Summer's coming in quick.
It's hot in this shed, eh?
Mate, next tyre,
Next
let's
tyre.
go. Just plugged it into the air compressor in the Jeep, and then Berto's pumping them all up now. He's down with Monday morning hay fever.
Monday on, it's the morning to go home.
Yeah, falling sick for the day. With the tyre mounted to the new bead locks, we could begin fitting them up to the Jeep. Got rid of the wheel spacers now, we had a bigger offset wheel. We were pretty keen to see how she looked with the fresh 35s and wheels. Always makes a huge difference to the overall look of the vehicle. There they are, all fitted up to full size 35. So we've got the Goodyear Boulder Wranglers wrapped around, the Dirty Life Messer beadlocks. Came up looking really nice. On to the next modification.
Last episode on this Jeep with the suspension, we figured out we didn't have a track bar that was good for the kit because of the whole left-hand drive situation. So we have ordered this. This is a Jock Rock adjustable track bar from the States. This suits like a 3 to 8 inch lift, but in case this isn't enough, we've also got this bracket, which is a relocation for the front mount up to try and get this the best geometry we can. Not sure if we're going to use that yet, so we'll start with installing this and we'll figure it out from there. Bit of a different bendy, bit of a different bend there, mate. Oh, so I had to run down the shop, get a 5/8 drill bit, because where the tapered ball goes on this bad boy, they switch it out for a bolt, and it's 5/8 for the extra strength. So we've got to drill that out, because it also gets rid of the taper, and just makes it straight.
So now that we've got all the suspension done, the full size 35s on it, we do need to get a wheel alignment. We got that booked in tomorrow morning, so Berta's going to take that down and get that done. But to finish off the Savo, we're going to drive this thing up on the flex ramp now and just test out the bump stops, where things sit and that, because we're thinking we'll probably need to order some bump stop extensions and maybe move things around a little bit.
And test the lockers.
Stop there, that's max. And how's that look? That's pretty good flex.
Yeah, that'd be probably as high as what our cars get up there. It's hard on the top. The shock is bottomed out, and your bump stop is a good ages off even touching.
So we definitely need longer bump stops. Down the back all looks pretty good. So how's she look, mate? What do you reckon?
Need some more bump stops in the front.
Scrub pretty hard, and what it's just gonna smash out, bottom out the shock.
Yeah.
So overall, that's pretty successful. It's coming up 5 o'clock now, so we're gonna finish up for the day, I think. Berto will go get that wheel alignment in the morning. With the wheel alignment, he'll try and move everything forward as much as he can, and that'll help it push it away from the back of those guards there where it was scrubbing. And then on the way back, he'll go to the metal shop and get some, alloy or steel or something?
Alloy.
Yeah, alloy, and then we'll be able to make some big bump stop extensions to go in it, which will stop it smashing up into the top of the guards there. We're getting there with it, mate. The Jeep's coming along.
Yeah. We're getting there slowly but surely. Boom, we're back. It's another day on the Jeep. I went for a wheel alignment this morning. It's all driving nice now. Beautiful, all set up.
What's next, mate? You went down the metal shop and...
I went down the metal shop.
What do you got here? Show us this.
See this, mate. Look at this. This is what came in the kit for a bump stop extension. Yeah. We had it on the flex ramp, and it needs to be like at least 100 mil long. So I've went and bought some straight round stock, and we're going to make some much bigger bump stop spaces.
And then you got some nice big bolts there to
bolt through.
Yeah, so that's how I make it. Cut down, bolt it through, and that'll be a big extension.
Yeah, we'll make a big extension.
Now to make these, you said, what did you say? You said to you, Tyler, I'm not using a grinder and a hand drill to make any more metal around here.
Especially with this job is, you know, this is a solid chunk of alloy. I've got to cut it, and you want them to be perfectly flat so they sit right when they're in there. And then you've got to drill down through the middle to accept this bolt. So I said, I'm not doing that with a hand drill and a grinder, so I've got me a cut-off saw and a 5-speed drill press.
So I went down to Bunnings this morning, you took my card and said, I'm spending your money, I'm buying some decent tools around here. Show us what they are. So let's start, it's a 5-speed drill press, what's that do?
So it's a big drill that you just pull a lever and it's dead straight down to the job on the workbench.
Yeah.
So instead of you holding it and it's off crooked or whatever, you know, you just do it easy instead of having to put all your weight in the hand drill and drill through it.
And then this one here is a metal drop saw.
Yeah, it's like a metal drop saw. So it clamps in, you just mark where you want to cut it, and it cuts it dead straight.
So we'll do some unboxing, mate, and then we'll get to work making some extended bump stops.
I don't know if I'm going to work today. I'm just going to play with my new tools.
Mate, that was it.
What the f***'s happened there, bro?
Half a cut, and she's busted.
A pile of shit. This thing reset itself, I think.
Can we get a one-cut impressions and review?
Well, it's not a cold saw, so you know what that means?
What?
It's a hot saw. That means these are hot.
Should have got a cold saw.
Should have got a cold saw.
They were like triple the money, but...
Oh, them sleight of hand tricks. So I know my good intention. Call that number anyway.
How'd you go, mate? New drill press got the job done.
Drilled the whole way through, mate. Look at that. So beautiful. Now I'll be able to figure out, like once we get the old ones out, bolt the rubber bit on the bottom, straight through it, and then we've got a really long extended bump stop. So now I've got one more to do.
And then boom.
Then boom. Done.
We'll just be able to lift it up nice and high. The engine crane may have to undo the shocks and then be able to get what coils, bump stop extensions out, or the current bump stops, and put the new extensions in, and she should be good to go.
Satisfaction guarantee. For that you gotta pay. She said she'd fix my body in that old-fashioned way.
There it is, all in. So you got your big new extension there, so that when you're flexing up, it'll contact down here sooner, and therefore stop that tyre smashing up hard into this guard here. So now those bump stop extensions are in, we can bring it back outside, drive it up the flex ramp, and see how things are looking.
Green Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground.
Is that all the way up?
Yeah, well the back wheel lifts off the ground.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty good then.
Yeah, because look.
Yeah, that's
So, you know, we could have made them slightly shorter, but they don't touch at all.
So pretty happy with that result. That'll keep those tyres, they're, you know, that much off the guard there, bit of room for movement. And then if you look in there, it's pretty hard on that bump stop in there. What do you have to say about your work, mate? Another job well done.
What do you expect, mate? Nah, it's a good job. You want to back this up?
Sally up, and Green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground.
At the back, the rear sway bar is limiting the flex, we reckon.
Yeah.
And then what's happening at the front?
Is working perfectly.
Just it would need longer shocks if you want a more flex
Yeah,
out
I think the limiting factor is where the pan nut is. It'll hit the steering arm if it flexes too much more.
She's looking good, she's pretty flexed up.
So up next, we've bought from Just Race Parts a gauge. So this is a 2-in-1 or 3-in-1. It's water temp, oil pressure, and a low coolant alarm. So I'm going to install this so that we can maintain and check on the vitals.
So the plan of that is we'll unbox it, we'll find a good spot to mount the gauge. We're just maybe thinking over there on the other side of that dash, yep. And then Berto can run the wires through, so you'll have adapt into your oil to get your oil pressure, and then you'll adapt into your coolant lines, put like an adapter in there, and you can plug your water temperature one in and your low coolant alarm in. Gauge is in, but I'll set the colour and all the pre-warm systems and that, and then on to the next job.
Yeah, that's night. That's day pink, mate. What do you
The
reckon?
best colours there is.
It's gonna match the rest of the stuff on his car.
Yeah.
Little Barbie car.
We're back, another day, more mods, more better on the Jeep. We are getting there. Pretty stoked of how it's all coming out and coming together. We got a trip coming up in only a couple of weeks now. Lakin's coming with us on a big pre-Christmas trip, about 10 days out through the mountains. One of the last things we're doing in this episode though is a soft top for it. Obviously it has no top on it at all. If it rains, that's not going to be very good. Dust, everything through the car on the trip. So he's got a kit, Trek Top NX Twill, it's called. This instructions, some bits and pieces, and then all of it's on the lounge here next to me. So I'll get stuck in and get this soft top installed. So that's it, halfway together, or option one, pretty much just a full roof over your head there.
Safari top is what they call it.
Safari top.
Yeah, or a bikini top.
Yeah, okay. So from here, we'll keep putting the rest of the kit on, which will do this, this, and that. And then the two passenger and driver windows he had to order, so they're still coming in the mail, so he's got nothing there for a while. But that would be pretty cool just to, have it open and drive around like that too.
Yeah, for sure. Keeps the sun off you, but you're still full convertible.
All right, that's it. She's all done. Super stoked of how this thing's coming together. It's looking very, very cool. And I reckon it's gonna be a super capable off-road weapon. But that's all that we have time for in today's episode. And yeah, she's pretty much done. We've got a few more bits and pieces to tidy up, pack it, and then we're taking this thing on an adventure very soon.
Oh, Miss Lucy dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. Sally up and bring Sally down, last time Scott got to tell the ground.